Hey everyone, it's Lila Delaware, and I'm back to talk to you guys about the works of Toyin Odutola. Odutola was born in Nigeria and moved to the States when she was still pretty young. When they moved, she had much trouble understanding the slang and dialect of the English language, and she found that art helped her convey the layered meanings in those expressions. Many of her themes relate to sexuality, breaking gender and racial norms, and embracing her blackness, as she should. She claims that although her heritage does not define her, it has been a great influence in her artwork. The first piece I'll be talking about is called Letting the Ring Finger In, made using ink and varnish on 30.5 by 22.5 inch paper. So, the main subject of this image is a figure with a hand sort of attached to the head. So, you can see that this hand is white compared to the rest of the figure, and it's open to interpretation, which I really like about this image. So, it can mean a variety of things. Maybe it ties into one of her themes about racial equality or gender equality. The part of this drawing that stood out most to me is the texture of the skin on the paper. So she uses a variety of textures to show the tone and the depth on the skin of the subject. You can tell she strongly resists the monochromatic sameness of blackness, basically. So you can see she's added patches that effectively display the highlighted and darker portions of the image. So facial features, the highlight of her body, they're all in little patches across her skin. I've also added a detail shot of the face. Hopefully you can see all the details in the eyelashes, in the highlight of the eyeball, the highlight of the brow bone, the cheekbone, the tip of the nose, the lips are outlined beautifully. Even the earrings on the ear, you can see that the highlighted portions of those. And you're also able to see the soft, fluffy texture of the hair. The next piece is called The Future is Romantic, drawn with charcoal on a 32 by 80 inch board. The piece displays an image of four men that's kind of cut off at the top, and with one right in the center. It looks like he's maybe the main subject of the drawing. His skin is shaded similarly to the figure in the previous images where Odutola uses her unique textural marking technique to show the patches on his skin, as well as the figure in the back. But because this is on black paper, the images look sort of inverted, I guess, like you used an inverted filter, and I think that looks really cool. Moving along to the men on the left and the right side of the figure, the texture of their skin is characterized by these lines. They're kind of flowy, airy lines that move throughout the face, kind of accentuating face structures like the cheekbones and the bone of the chin, the lips, the bones of the nose, the brow bones. But what stood out most to me was the texture on the shirts. So if you look, you can see the flowy, almost three-dimensional, it looks like an illusion, almost the way the lines flow so perfectly with each other. The next piece I'll be talking about is called the Treatment 34, made using pen ink, gel ink, and pencil on 12 by 9 inch paper. This image is actually one of a series of drawings of important white men drawn with black ink. And her whole idea behind this series was basically to strip these important people of their whiteness, or in other words, their importance. This specific piece displays a close-up image of the face of a man kind of looking off to the side. This picture's in great detail except for the hair, which is drawn just using a few lines and the outline of the head. The rest of the image, however, is detailed beautifully. You can see the wisps of his eyelashes, the highlights in the eye and on the cupid's bow, on the nose, on the ear. You can see the dark shadow under the jawbone and also in the eye socket. And through the texture of the skin, she still manages to add the depth and softness that comes with the human face. The fourth image I'll be talking about is called A Solitary Pursuit, drawn using charcoal, pastel, and pencil on a 30 by 40.15-inch paper. The main subject of this image is an older black woman sitting in a Cadillac, and I love the color on this image compared to the rest of her pieces. The detailing in this piece is amazing as expected, starting with the car. You can see the highlight at the bottom, you can also see it at the top. You can see the glass at the front of the side windshield, the glass in her glasses. You can also see where she draws in the shadow underneath, the great detail also in her skin. You can see the folds, the shadows, the highlights, the forehead wrinkles, the skin that's sagging a little bit. Her hair is so voluptuous and it looks so soft. I think the texture that she created in the woman's afro was very realistic. This piece kind of ties into her themes about race, gender, and age, and while also challenging those assumptions. Because if you look at the woman, she's not in the kitchen, she's not catering to anybody, she's sitting in a car, she's minding her business, she's her own boss basically. The last image I'll be talking about is titled Both, drawn using colored pencil, graphite, and ink on 11 by 14-inch paper. The central image in this piece is of a boy whose face is half cut off, and you can see the texture and color that she uses to display and accentuate the depth of his skin and his hair. So you can see the highlighted portions of the curls in his hair and the highlighted portions of his cheek and his forehead and his ear. You can also see behind him his shadow, which leads us to assume that the room is well lit, and you can see the wall behind him is pretty bright, which only adds to that assumption. Trying to interpret his gaze or facial expressions raises many questions about what he's looking at. Is it a threat? Is he confused or scared? And the answer to these questions lie in the title. Why not both?